Good evening. Tonight's broadcast is, as the more astute among you may have already surmised, a work of fiction. There is, to the best of our knowledge, no Jason Voorhees haunting the woods of Crystal Lake, no hockey-masked figure moving through the darkness with purpose, and no small New Jersey town that has endured quite this specific catalogue of horrors. The voices you are about to hear have been generated by artificial intelligence, though I assure you the words they speak, the stories they tell, these were written and directed entirely by human hands. This production makes use of fictional characters, invented scenarios, and, one might say, a certain theatrical liberty with the laws of nature. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or deceased, or to actual events, remains purely coincidental. And now, with your dial properly tuned and your evening suitably unencumbered, we invite you to spend the next hour with us. Enjoy the show.
Good afternoon, I'm Roger Thornhill with WCLK News at 2. After 4 decades of sitting vacant and abandoned, Camp Crystal Lake is about to reopen its doors. The property, which has been closed since 1984 following a series of tragic incidents, has been purchased and renovated by Mindful Horizons Wellness Corporation. The newly renamed Lakeside Wellness Center will hold its grand opening next Friday, April 19th. A small preparation crew is on site this weekend completing final renovations and safety inspections before next week's opening, which promises meditation workshops, nature therapy, and what the company calls healing in harmony with the natural world. Not everyone in Crystal Lake is celebrating this reopening. We're joined now by Pamela Prescott, who's been covering the community response to this development. Pamela, what are people saying?
Roger, the reaction is deeply divided. I'm standing outside the town council building where just 2 hours ago, Mindful Horizons held a press conference to discuss the grand opening. Company CEO David Mitchell was all smiles, talking about fresh starts and positive energy and transforming a place of darkness into a sanctuary of light. But outside, there were protesters. Maybe 20 or 30 people holding signs that said things like, "Some places should stay closed," and "History repeats." I spoke with several of them, and the sentiment is clear. They believe reopening this camp is a mistake, a dangerous mistake. The issue here, Roger, is the camp's history, and it's not a pretty history. Between 1957 and 1984, Camp Crystal Lake was the site of multiple deaths. The exact number is unclear, but estimates range from 50 to 54 fatalities over that time period. Some were ruled accidents, some were homicides. The most well-known incident occurred in 1979 when a woman named Pamela Voorhees killed several camp counselors. She was the mother of a boy who had drowned at the camp 22 years earlier, and she blamed the counselors for his death. Pamela Voorhees was killed that night by a counselor who acted in self-defense. After that, the camp tried to reopen several more times, but each attempt was followed by more deaths, more incidents. Finally, in '84, the owners gave up and the camp was permanently closed. Until now.
Pamela, what does Mindful Horizons say about this history? They must be aware of it.
Oh, they're aware, Roger. David Mitchell addressed it directly at the press conference. He called the camp's past, and I'm quoting here, "a series of unfortunate incidents that have been sensationalized over the years." He said that the company has done extensive research and determined that the deaths were either accidents, isolated criminal acts, or cases where unstable individuals targeted the camp because of its growing reputation. In other words, he doesn't believe there's anything inherently dangerous about the property itself. He thinks the legend has grown beyond the facts and that with proper security and modern safety measures, the location can be completely safe. Not everyone agrees. I have Paul Holt with us now. Paul, you were a counselor at Camp Crystal Lake in 1980. Can you tell us about your experience?
I was 22 years old, signed up for a counselor training program. The camp had been closed since the murders in '79, but new owners decided to try reopening. They brought in a small group of counselors to train before bringing in campers. Fresh start, all the same things this wellness company is saying now. I needed the work, and I figured, lightning doesn't strike twice. The person responsible in '79 was dead. It should have been safe. It wasn't.
What happened that summer, Paul?
There were 9 of us in the training program. No campers yet. Just counselors learning the property and getting ready for when the camp would officially reopen. Everything seemed fine for the first couple of days. Then people started disappearing. One of the other counselors, a guy named Scott, went out at night and never came back. We found him the next morning. That's when we knew something was wrong. But by then it was too late. More attacks happened that night. I won't go into details because families might be listening. But by the time dawn came, 7 counselors were dead. I survived because I got knocked unconscious during a fight with him. When I woke up at sunrise, he was gone.
Paul, did you ever see who was responsible?
I saw him, fought him, actually. Large man, over 6 feet tall, wearing a burlap sack over his head with one eye hole cut out. He was carrying a machete. He wasn't frantic, Pamela, he was methodical, not running around in a frenzy like you'd expect. He moved slowly, deliberately, checking every building, every hiding spot, like he knew the camp inside and out, like he'd been there a long time. I tried to fight him, hit him multiple times. He didn't react, didn't slow down, just kept coming. That's the last thing I remember before waking up at dawn.
The police investigated. Was anyone ever caught?
No, they searched the property for 3 days, found blood, found evidence of violence, but no suspect. The official report listed it as unsolved homicides. They theorized it might have been someone from town with a grudge against the camp, or maybe a drifter passing through. But I know what I saw, and I know that whatever it was, they vanished into those woods like they belonged there.
Paul, what's your reaction to the camp reopening?
I think it's insane. I've spent 44 years trying to forget what happened that weekend. Therapy, medication, moving away from Crystal Lake for 20 years. And now this company wants to open it up again like none of that matters. Like 7 people I knew, 7 friends, didn't die horrible deaths on that property. They're calling it unfortunate incidents. That's not what they were murders. And whoever did it was never found. What makes anyone think it's safe now?
Thank you, Paul. That took courage to share. Roger, I should mention that Mindful Horizons has hired a private security firm for the opening weekend. They'll have armed guards on the property 24 hours a day. The company maintains that this is a completely different situation than what happened in the past.
Paul, thank you for speaking with us. Joining us now by phone is Dr. Elizabeth Gaines, a sociologist at Rutgers University who specializes in community trauma and collective memory. Dr. Gaines, thank you for taking the time.
Happy to be here, Roger.
From a sociological perspective, what happens when a community tries to move past a traumatic location like Camp Crystal Lake? Can that work?
It's complicated. Communities have successfully reclaimed spaces associated with tragedy. We've seen it with disaster sites, locations of mass violence, places where terrible things occurred. Sometimes, transforming those spaces into something positive can be healing. It allows the community to rewrite the narrative, to say that darkness doesn't get the final word. But, and this is important, that process requires community buy-in. It requires acknowledging what happened, honoring the victims, and moving forward together with intention and respect. What concerns me about the Camp Crystal Lake situation is that it doesn't sound like that's happening. From what I understand, Mindful Horizons purchased the property from an out-of-town owner. They're a corporation, not a community organization. They're not from Crystal Lake. They don't have deep ties to the history or the people affected by it. And from the reporting I've heard, their approach has been to minimize the past rather than acknowledge it, calling decades of deaths unfortunate incidents. Suggesting that the legend is overblown, that feels dismissive. It feels like they're prioritizing profit over respect for what that community has been through.
So you think the reopening is a mistake?
I think it's a mistake to do it this way. If the community had come together, if there had been extensive dialogue about what this space could become, if survivors and families of victims had been meaningfully involved in the decision-making, maybe it could work. But imposing a wellness center on a traumatized community without that groundwork, that's not healing. That's just reopening old wounds. And from a practical standpoint, there's also the question of whether the location itself has been adequately investigated. Paul Holt mentioned that the person responsible for the 1980 murders was never caught. If that's true, and if similar incidents have occurred multiple times, what makes this company confident that the threat no longer exists? Security cameras and armed guards are reactive measures. They respond to threats, but they don't eliminate threats that may already be present on the property.
That's a sobering point. Dr. Gaines, thank you for your analysis. We're joined now by Thomas Howard, a Crystal Lake resident whose daughter Sarah is working as the on-site manager for Mindful Horizons. Mr. Howard, can you tell us about Sarah's role in this reopening?
She's 28, works in marketing in New York City. When Mindful Horizons was looking for someone to coordinate the final preparations before the grand opening, Sarah applied. She has event management experience, she's organized, and she saw it as a great opportunity. She's been on site this week overseeing the work crew, making sure everything's ready for next week's opening.
Have you told her about what we've been discussing today? The incidents from the past?
I've tried. I told her about the murders in 79 and 80. I showed her articles online about the camp's history. She thinks I'm being an overprotective father. She found message boards and forums where people call it an urban legend, say the stories have been exaggerated. She thinks the wellness company wouldn't reopen it if it wasn't safe. And honestly, Roger, part of me wants to believe she's right. Part of me wants to believe that I am being overprotective, that 40 years is long enough for whatever happened there to be over. But I can't shake this feeling of dread.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I can't physically stop her from going. She's an adult. She's independent. If I push too hard, it'll just create conflict between us. So I guess I'm going to ask her to keep her phone charged and check in with me regularly. And I'm going to hope, pray really, that the company is right and I'm wrong. But I'll tell you this, Roger, I'm not sleeping Friday night until she calls me and tells me she's okay.
Thomas Howard, thank you for sharing that. I hope Sarah and her team stay safe this weekend. We've also been trying to reach out to Ralph Christy, host of Night Talk here on WCLK Radio. Ralph has been vocally opposed to the reopening for months. We understand he'll be addressing this issue on his show tonight at 10 o'clock. The preparation crew will be working at Camp Crystal Lake through this weekend, with the official Lakeside Wellness Center grand opening scheduled for next Friday, April 19th. We'll be monitoring the situation, and we'll continue to cover community reaction and any developments. For WCLK News, I'm Roger Thornhill. Stay informed, stay safe, and we'll see you at 5. Good evening, I'm Roger Thornhill with WCLK News at 6. We're following breaking developments from Camp Crystal Lake tonight, where what should have been routine preparation work has turned into a crisis. A work crew was on site today completing final renovations for next week's grand opening when something went terribly wrong. At 6:15 this evening, multiple 911 calls reported screams and what witnesses described as disturbances coming from the camp. The work crew consisted of 8 people, including construction workers, facility managers, and a county safety inspector. Chief Raymond Finch and 3 officers responded at 6:30, entering the property to investigate. They have not returned. Radio contact was lost at 6:47, and we've had no communication with them for over 2 hours now. We go live to Pamela Prescott at the police roadblock approximately 1 mile from the camp.
Roger, the scene here is tense and growing more chaotic by the minute. I'm standing about a mile from the camp entrance where Deputy Margaret White has established a roadblock. She confirmed just moments ago that Chief Finch and 3 officers entered the property at 6:30 this evening and radio contact was lost at 6:47. That was over 2 hours ago, Roger, and there's been nothing since. No calls, no updates, nothing. State police are en route, but we're told they're still at least 40 minutes out. Multiple ambulances have been staged here since 7:15, but none have been cleared to enter the property. Deputy White tells me they're waiting for an all clear from Chief Finch, but that all clear hasn't come. Roger, I've covered a lot of stories in this town, and I've never seen this kind of response before. Something is very wrong up at that camp.
Pamela, has anyone emerged from the camp since the police went in?
No one, Roger. Not a single person has come out, and that's what has these families so frightened. This was supposed to be a day of new beginnings, and now we're standing here in the dark, waiting for any sign of life from that property. I'll stay here and keep you updated as we learn more.
Thank you, Pamela. Stay safe. Joining us now by phone is Dr. Mark Rutland, Chief of Emergency Medicine at Crystal Lake General Hospital. Dr. Rutland, your hospital was notified to prepare for casualties tonight. Can you walk us through what that means?
Roger, we received notification at 6:55 this evening to prepare for what dispatch called multiple trauma casualties.
But you haven't received any patients yet.
That's correct. We've been on standby for over 2 hours now, and we haven't received a single patient from that scene. No ambulances have arrived. No updates from EMS on scene. That's deeply unusual, Roger. When we get a call like this, patients typically start arriving within 30 to 40 minutes. The fact that we're past the 2-hour mark with no transport, that suggests either the casualties are still on site and cannot be moved, or emergency personnel cannot safely access the scene.
What would prevent emergency access for this length of time?
In my 20 years doing this, I've seen a few scenarios. An active shooter situation where the scene isn't secured, a hazardous materials incident requiring decontamination first, or a structural collapse where victims are trapped and difficult to reach. But even in those cases, we typically have some communication. Command posts get set up, incident commanders provide updates, we get casualty estimates. The silence here is what concerns me most. When professionals go quiet like this, it usually means the situation is beyond what they expected to handle.
So you're saying this doesn't fit any standard emergency response pattern?
I'm saying it doesn't fit anything I've seen before, Roger. Whatever is happening at that camp, it's preventing trained emergency responders from doing what they're trained to do.
I want to bring in someone with intimate knowledge of Camp Crystal Lake's troubled history. Chris Higgins is joining us by phone. Chris was a camp counselor in 1982, and she survived an attack that many believed would be the camp's final tragedy. Chris, thank you for speaking with us during what I know must be a difficult evening.
Roger, my heart is breaking right now, but I'm not surprised. I've been speaking out against reopening this camp for months, and no one wanted to listen.
Can you tell our viewers what happened in 1982?
I was 19 years old, second year as a counselor. The camp had reopened despite the murders in '79, and we thought it would be different this time. But something was still there. Someone was still there. Over 3 days, I watched my friends disappear. The attacker was a large man, over 6 feet tall, wearing a hockey mask. He was silent, unstoppable. I hit him with a knife, buried it in his leg, and he pulled it out like it was nothing.
You survived that encounter.
Barely. I hit him in the head with an axe, buried it deep. He went down and I thought I'd killed him. But paramedics found him the next day with the axe still in his head. They took him to the hospital. He woke up in the morgue, killed a doctor and a nurse, and escaped. Killed more people after that. Roger, if an axe to the head doesn't stop him, nothing does. That's what people need to understand. You can't fight him. You can't stop him. You can only run and hope he doesn't find you before sunrise.
The company that purchased the property called the camp's history unfortunate incidents. What's your response to that characterization?
Unfortunate incidents. That's what they called multiple deaths spanning decades. That's how they dismissed every warning from people who knew better, who lived through it. I spoke at the town council meeting when they were reviewing the permits. I told them this was a mistake. And tonight, sitting here listening to your report, I know people are dead up there. I can feel it, Roger. That camp takes people. It always has.
Chris Higgins, thank you for sharing your perspective. We'll continue following this story throughout the evening and bring you updates as they become available. For WCLK News, I'm Roger Thornhill.
Good evening, Crystal Lake. This is Ralph Christy, and if you're listening tonight, you already know what I'm going to talk about. Camp Crystal Lake, the wellness center, the thing that never should have happened. I've been on this radio station for 17 years, and for 17 years I've been telling anyone who'd listen, don't open that camp, don't disturb that ground. There's a death curse on that place, and tonight, I think we're seeing exactly what I've been warning about. My son, Michael, was 18 years old when he died at that camp in 1982. He was working there as a junior counselor. Smart kid, good kid, wanted to save money for college. They never found all of him. That's what this place does. It takes our children, and it doesn't even give us the dignity of burying them whole. So when I've been warning people for years, it's not because I'm crazy, it's because I know what that camp costs, and I've been trying to spare other families from paying the same price we did. My phone lines have been jammed since 6 o'clock this evening. People calling, asking me what I know, what I think is happening up there. And honestly, I don't have answers that'll make anyone feel better. But I'm opening the lines now, because sometimes we need to hear from each other. We need to know we're not alone in this. The number is 555-2488. Let's go to our first caller.
Ralph, this is Violet Moraine. I've been listening to you for years, and I want people to know you're not crazy. Everything you've said is true.
Violet, thank you for calling. You were there in 1957, weren't you?
I was 12 years old, living with my parents on Forest View Drive. We could see the camp from our back porch. I remember the day Jason Voorhees drowned. He was about my age, maybe a year older. Sweet boy. But the other kids, they teased him something awful. He had this face, birth defects, and children can be cruel. The counselors were supposed to be watching during swim time, but they weren't watching. They were off somewhere together, doing whatever young people do when they think no one's looking. And Jason, he went out too far. Maybe the other kids pushed him. Maybe he just couldn't swim well, but he went under. By the time anyone noticed, it was too late. They dragged the lake for 3 days. 3 days, Ralph. My father was on one of the boats. They never found that boy's body. And his mother, Pamela Voorhees, she worked in the camp kitchen. I remember her screaming when they told her. She kept saying they killed him. The counselors killed her baby. She never recovered from that. Would walk around town talking to herself, talking to Jason like he was still there with her. Then in '79, she came back, killed those counselors, the ones who were trying to reopen the camp. Alice Hardy, bless her heart, she killed Pamela in self-defense. But here's what people don't understand, Ralph. Pamela died believing she was avenging her son. That kind of rage, that kind of grief, it doesn't just disappear. It soaks into the ground.
Violet, that was 45 years ago.
45 years that camp should have stayed closed, Ralph. You don't disturb a grave. You don't build happy places on top of grief. Crystal Lake remembers. The water remembers. And tonight, I think something remembered those people back.
Thanks, Violet. Next caller.
Ralph, I'm calling because, I don't know, maybe I need to tell someone this.
Go ahead, Steve. What's on your mind?
I worked maintenance at the camp in '81. This was after what Violet was just talking about. They hired a crew to board the place up, make it secure. I was 23, needed the money, didn't ask too many questions. But Ralph, the things we found in there were machete marks on the walls, deep gouges, like someone had just hacked away at the wood. Beds torn apart, mattresses shredded. Bloodstains that, I swear, they wouldn't wash out no matter what we used. My supervisor, this older guy, he told us don't ask questions, just nail the boards and get out.
Did you ever find out what caused all that damage?
The last incident. That's what they called it. Never gave us details, just said there'd been another incident and the owners wanted it sealed up for good. I drove past yesterday morning, Ralph. Saw the construction crews, saw families walking around with their yoga mats and their positive energy nonsense. I wanted to stop them. I wanted to pull over and tell them what I'd seen, but I didn't. I kept driving.
Steve, you couldn't have known they'd actually go through with opening it.
Couldn't I? The permits were approved, the signs were up, people were excited. I could have tried harder. I could have done something more than just, telling myself I tried. If people died up there tonight, and I think we both know they did, then part of that's on me. Part of that's on everyone in this town who knew better and stayed quiet.
Okay, Steve. Let's go to our next caller.
Ralph, this is Annie Phillips. I work at the diner on Route 22.
Hi, Annie. What's going on?
I had some of the work crew come in yesterday for lunch. Young couple, maybe 30 years old, and they had a baby with them, 6 months old. Cutest little thing. They were so excited, Ralph. Talking about how this job would be a fresh start, how they'd use the money to set up a better life for their family. I wanted to warn them. I had the words right there. But they seemed so happy, and I didn't want to be that person. You know, the old waitress with the ghost stories.
Annie, you can't blame yourself for that.
Can't I? Everyone in this town knows, Ralph. That's the thing. Everyone knows there's something wrong with that camp. We all knew, and we all let them open it anyway because, what? We didn't want to seem superstitious. We didn't want to hurt the town's reputation. That couple with the baby, They were part of the work crew on site today. If they're dead tonight, I could have warned them. I could have said something.
Annie, listen to me. Whatever happened up there tonight, that's not on you. You're a waitress trying to make a living. You're not responsible for stopping a corporation and a town council, and everyone who decided profit mattered more than history.
Maybe not, Ralph. But I'm going to have to live with wondering if those words I didn't say could have saved that baby's life.
I need to take a moment here. 3 callers. 3 people carrying guilt that doesn't belong to them. Violet, you were a child when Jason drowned. Steve, you were doing a job. Annie, you were serving lunch. None of you opened that camp. None of you approved those permits or signed those contracts or ignored the warnings that people like me have been screaming for 17 years. But here we are. 4 police officers went into that camp tonight and haven't come back. 8 people in the work crew were preparing the camp this weekend, and we don't know if any of them are still alive. I don't have answers tonight. State police are on their way, and maybe they'll secure the scene and find survivors and tell us this was all a terrible misunderstanding. Maybe. But I've been watching this town and that camp for 17 years, and I don't think so. I think something terrible happened tonight, and I think it's the same terrible thing that's been happening at that camp since 1957. If you're listening, if you live anywhere near those woods, lock your doors tonight. Keep your lights on. Don't go investigating sounds. Just stay inside. I'll be here all night, taking your calls. You're not alone in this. This is Ralph Christy, WCLK, 1340 AM. I'll be right back after these messages.
This is Roger Thornhill with the WCLK News Special Report. The situation at Camp Crystal Lake has deteriorated significantly overnight. At 7:30 this morning, State Police Search and Rescue entered the property with K-9 units. The team consisted of 5 officers, all trained for high-risk operations. At 9:47, officers reported finding multiple casualties at the camp. At 10:15, radio contact with the search team was lost. 2 officers managed to retreat and exit the property. They report finding Chief Raymond Finch and his 3 officers deceased, along with 5 members of the work crew that had been preparing the camp for next week's grand opening. 2 additional search team officers are unaccounted for. No further rescue attempts have been made. We go now to Pamela Prescott, who's been at the scene since last night.
Roger, the scene here has changed dramatically since I reported last night. State police have established what they're calling a hard perimeter, approximately 1 mile from the camp entrance. The roadblock that was temporary last night is now reinforced with concrete barriers and armed officers. But the families are still here, Roger. Thomas Howard, the father I interviewed last night, he's been standing behind this barrier for over 16 hours now. His daughter Sarah was the on-site manager for Mindful Horizons, coordinating the final preparations. She sent him a text message at 5:53 yesterday evening. It said, "Something is wrong. We're hiding." That was the last he heard from her. The work crew that was at the camp Friday consisted of 8 people, 5 construction workers doing final repairs, 2 Mindful Horizons staff members, including Sarah, and a county health inspector doing a pre-opening safety check. As of this morning, we know that 5 of those 8 people are dead. Chief Finch and his 3 officers are also deceased, but 3 members of the work crew survived. They escaped Friday night and made it to town. 2 of them are willing to speak with us about what they saw. Roger, what they're describing is difficult to hear, but people need to understand what happened at that camp.
Pamela, we have one of the survivors on the line now. This is David Palmer, a construction foreman who was overseeing the cabin repairs. Mr. Palmer, thank you for speaking with us. I know this must be incredibly difficult.
I don't know if I should be talking, but people need to know what we saw. We were working late Friday, trying to finish the cabin repairs before the opening next week. There were 5 of us from the construction crew, plus Sarah Howard and her assistant from the wellness company, and a health inspector named Martin checking the plumbing. Around 6 o'clock, we heard screaming coming from near the lake. One of my guys, Bill, He ran down to see what was wrong. He didn't come back.
What did you do?
We went looking for him, 3 of us, me and 2 other workers. We found him near the dock. Roger, he'd been killed. I'm not going to describe it in detail because families might be listening, but it was violent. And standing over him was this man. Huge guy. Had to be 6.5 feet tall, wearing a hockey mask and holding a machete that was covered in blood. We ran, just turned and ran back to the main lodge where the others were. We tried to call 911, but the landline was dead. Cell service up there is terrible. Barely works. Sarah got through on her phone, sent that text to her father, but then her battery died. We barricaded ourselves in the lodge, pushed furniture against the doors, locked the windows. We could hear him outside. Heavy footsteps on the porch. He'd test the door handles, move to a window, then circle back, just checking every entry point.
How long did this go on?
Hours. Martin, the health inspector, he was near one of the windows when the glass shattered. A hand came through and grabbed him. Just pulled him straight through the window frame. We heard him screaming outside, then it stopped. That's when we knew we couldn't stay in the lodge. If he could get through the windows, the barricade didn't matter. Sarah made the call. She said we split up, try to reach the road separately. Better chance that way. I went out a back window with one of my guys, Eddie. Sarah and her assistant went toward the main road. I don't know what happened to them. Eddie and I made it to the woods, ran for maybe 20 minutes straight. We could hear something behind us. Not running, just walking, steady footsteps, but we had a head start and we didn't stop. We reached Route 22 around 8:30 and flagged down a car. That's how we got out.
Mr. Palmer, you said the attacker was wearing a hockey mask. Are you certain about that detail?
Completely certain. White hockey mask with red markings, dark clothes, carrying a machete that was at least 18 inches long. And Roger, when I say he was big, I mean massive. I'm 6'2" and this guy towered over me, built like a linebacker. But the worst part wasn't his size, it was the way he moved. Slow, deliberate, patient. Like he had all the time in the world and he knew we couldn't escape. I've worked construction for 20 years. I've seen a lot of things. I've never seen anything like that.
David Palmer, thank you for sharing your account. Pamela, I understand there's a second survivor who's willing to speak.
Yes, Roger, I have Karen Mitchell on the line. Karen was the assistant manager from Mindful Horizons, working with Sarah Howard on the preparation coordination. Karen, can you tell us what you experienced?
I was with Sarah when everything went wrong. We were in one of the cabins doing a final walkthrough when we heard people yelling. We came outside and saw David and his crew running toward the main lodge. Sarah tried to get answers, but everyone was panicking. That's when we heard the footsteps. Heavy boots on gravel, coming from the direction of the lake. Slow and steady, like whoever it was wasn't in any hurry.
We saw him walk into the clearing. This enormous man in a hockey mask, covered in blood, carrying this huge machete. He just stopped in the middle of the clearing and looked around, not frantically, not searching, just observing, like he was taking inventory of where we all were. Then he started walking toward the lodge where everyone had run, not running, just walking. That's when Sarah grabbed me and we went the other direction, toward the woods on the north side.
What happened in the woods?
We ran for maybe 10 minutes before we had to stop. Sarah has asthma. She was having trouble breathing. We hid behind a fallen tree, trying to be quiet. And then we heard him. Footsteps in the woods. Not close. Maybe 50 yards away, but moving in our direction. Sarah looked at me and whispered, "You need to run. I'm slowing you down. Get to the road and get help." I didn't want to leave her, but she insisted. She said she'd hide, stay quiet, and wait for help to come back. So I ran. I ran until I hit the main road, and I kept running until a car picked me up around 9 o'clock. I told the driver to call the police, that people were dying at Camp Crystal Lake.
Karen, Sarah Howard is Thomas Howard's daughter. She's still missing. Do you have any hope that she survived?
I don't know. I want to believe she made it. I want to believe she found a good hiding spot, and she's still there waiting for help. But I heard those footsteps, Pamela. Whoever that was, he wasn't going to give up. He was going to search every inch of those woods until he found everyone. I'm so sorry, Mr. Howard. I'm so sorry I left her. But she told me to run, and I ran.
Karen Mitchell, thank you for your courage in speaking with us. Pamela, what's the current status of the search and rescue operation?
Roger. After this morning's search team lost 2 officers and retreated, state police made the decision to suspend all entry into the camp property. I spoke with Lieutenant Timothy Stroud 15 minutes ago. He confirmed that the 2 officers who made it out reported finding Chief Finch, his 3 officers, and 5 members of the work crew deceased on the property. The 2 missing search team officers are presumed dead, though their bodies have not been recovered. Lieutenant Stroud said, and I'm quoting, "We are not sending any more personnel into that area until we can guarantee their safety." When I asked what could guarantee safety, he had no answer.
What about the 3 survivors? David Palmer, Karen Mitchell, and the 3rd crew member, are they being held for questioning?
They've been interviewed extensively by state police. All 3 have given consistent accounts of a large male attacker wearing a hockey mask and armed with a machete. They're describing the same individual that witnesses reported in 1982. The same individual described in incident reports going back to 1980. State police are treating this as a homicide investigation, but they're also treating it as an active threat situation. The suspect is believed to still be on the camp property, and based on witness accounts, he is considered extremely dangerous and effectively immune to standard deterrence.
I want to bring in Sheriff Aaron Tierney now. Sheriff, what can you tell us about the current situation?
Roger. We've established a 2-mile exclusion zone around Camp Crystal Lake. Nobody enters that area without authorization. And right now, nobody is getting authorization. We have 11 confirmed dead. Chief Finch and 3 of my officers, 4 workers from the preparation crew, 2 state police search and rescue officers, and we believe there are 2 more bodies on the property that we haven't been able to recover. Sarah Howard and one of the construction workers.
Sheriff, the survivors are describing an individual matching descriptions from incidents 40 years ago. How is that possible?
I don't have an explanation for that, Roger. What I can tell you is that we're dealing with a very real, very dangerous individual who has killed multiple people in less than 24 hours. Whether it's the same person from previous incidents or someone using that reputation, the result is the same. People are dead and the threat remains active.
What are you advising residents to do?
Stay away from the camp. Stay away from the woods surrounding the camp. If you live in the eastern part of town, anyone east of Maple Avenue, remain indoors tonight. Lock your doors and windows. Don't investigate unusual sounds. Report anything suspicious to 911 immediately. We're increasing patrols in that area, but I want to be clear. Our primary objective right now is containment. We're keeping this individual confined to the camp property.
Can you confirm the threat is contained to the camp?
As of right now, yes. All confirmed sightings have been on camp property, but we're taking precautions. The eastern section of town is closest to the camp, so we're asking those residents to be extra vigilant tonight. This is an active investigation. We're coordinating with state police, and we will provide updates as the situation develops.
Sheriff Aaron Tierney, thank you. We'll continue monitoring this situation throughout the day. If you live in eastern Crystal Lake, please follow the sheriff's guidance, stay indoors, lock your doors, and report any suspicious activity immediately. The camp was set to open next Friday. Instead, multiple people are dead, and more are missing and presumed dead, and an entire community is living in fear. For WCLK News, I'm Roger Thornhill.
Brothers and sisters, we gather this morning under circumstances I never imagined I would face. Last night, violence came to our community. People died at Camp Crystal Lake. As of this hour, we don't know how many, we don't know all their names, but we know they were God's children, and we know they are with Him now. So this morning, we pray for their souls, we pray for their families, and we ask God to give us the strength to face what has happened in our town. I want to speak to you about fear, because I know that's what many of you are feeling right now. Fear for your safety, fear for your families, fear about what might still be out there. And I want to tell you that fear is not a sin. Fear is human, it's natural. Even Jesus felt fear. In the Garden of Gethsemane, the night before His crucifixion, Jesus prayed to His Father. He said, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." Jesus knew what was coming. He knew the suffering that awaited Him. And in His humanity, He was afraid. So if you are afraid this morning, you are in good company. Our Lord knows what that feels like. But here's what Jesus did with his fear. He prayed, and after he prayed, he said these words, "Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Jesus took his fear to his Father. He was honest about it. He didn't pretend it wasn't there. And then he surrendered it. He placed it in God's hands. That's what I'm asking you to do this morning. Don't hide your fear. Don't pretend you're not scared. But don't let that fear control you either. Bring it to God. Lay it at the foot of the cross and ask him to carry it for you. Because the truth is, we were never meant to carry these burdens alone. There's a passage in the book of Psalms that I keep returning to this morning, Psalm 23. You all know it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Still waters. That phrase has always been beautiful to me. Peaceful, comforting. But this morning, knowing what happened at our lake last night, those words feel different. They feel urgent. Because the psalmist goes on to say, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. The valley of the shadow of death, that's where we are right now, Crystal Lake. That's the valley we're walking through. But listen to what the psalmist says. I will fear no evil, not because there is no evil, not because the valley is safe, but because God is with us. Even in the darkest valley, we are not alone. Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble. He didn't say you might have trouble. He didn't say if things go badly, you'll face hardship. He said you will have trouble. That's a promise. Life in this fallen world includes suffering. It includes tragedy. It includes moments like last night where evil seems to have won. But Jesus didn't stop there. He said, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Take heart. Not because the trouble goes away, not because the danger disappears, but because Jesus has already won the victory. On the cross, he defeated sin, he defeated death, he defeated every power of darkness. And because he lives, we can face tomorrow, not with certainty that nothing bad will happen, but with certainty that even when bad things happen, God is still sovereign, God is still good, and God is still with us. I know some of you are asking, where was God last night? Why did he allow this to happen? If he's loving, if he's powerful, why didn't he stop it? Those are hard questions, and I don't have easy answers. What I can tell you is this: God did not cause what happened last night. Evil did. Darkness did. But God was present in that darkness. He was with every person who suffered. He was with every person who died. And he is with their families this morning, carrying their grief, holding them in ways we cannot see. God does not promise to prevent every tragedy, but he does promise to walk through every tragedy with us. And that promise, brothers and sisters, is what keeps us standing when everything else falls apart. So what do we do now? We pray, we grieve, we support one another, we stay vigilant, we take precautions, we protect our families, but we do not give in to despair. We do not let fear have the final word, because our hope is not in the safety of this world. Our hope is in Jesus Christ, who conquered death and rose again. And because he lives, we know that death is not the end. For those who died last night, if they knew the Lord, they are with him now, free from fear, free from pain, home. And for those of us still here, we cling to the promise that nothing, not death, not life, not angels, not demons, not the present, not the future, not any powers, not height, not depth, nothing in all creation can separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, We come before you this morning with heavy hearts. We lift up to you the souls of those who died last night. Receive them into your presence, Lord. Comfort their families. Comfort this community. Give us courage to face the days ahead. Give us wisdom to know how to respond. Give us faith to trust that even in the darkest valley, you are with us. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, who died and rose again so that we might have life. Amen. Go in peace. And may the Lord watch over you and keep you safe.
It's 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Right now, there are roadblocks up, families with no answers, and the sheriff is telling people on the east side to stay indoors, not as a suggestion, as a warning. I'm going to say something that'll make me sound crazier than usual, and I know that's a high bar. But I'm going to say it anyway because I think you all deserve the truth, even if the truth sounds impossible. This is Jason Voorhees, the boy who drowned in '57, the boy whose mother killed for him in '79. He's been at that camp for 40 years, and now he's killing again. You can call it legend, you can call it superstition, but Chris Higgins just went on the news and described the same hockey mask, the same unstoppable attacker she faced in '82. That was 43 years ago. How is he still there? I don't know, but he is. The lines are open. If you're in danger, call 911 first, then call me. The number is 555-2488. Let's take our first caller.
Ralph, this is Terry McCarthy. I live on Cunningham Road, about a quarter mile from the camp.
Terry, are you safe?
I called the police. They said they'd send someone, but nobody came. And Ralph, I'm looking at those woods right now from my kitchen window. It's dark, but I keep seeing movement, like something's pacing back there, just beyond where the porch light reaches.
Terry, listen to me carefully. I want you to lock every door and window in that house right now. Turn on every light you have. Don't go outside for any reason.
My husband works third shift at the hospital. He won't be home until midnight. Ralph, I'm scared.
I know you are, and that's smart. Fear keeps you alert. I'm going to have someone from the station call you every hour just to check in. You're not alone in this. Terry, just stay inside, keep those doors locked, and don't investigate any sounds you hear. Can you do that for me?
I'll try. Thank you, Ralph.
Next caller, please.
Ralph, this is Mark Jarvis. I live on Henderson Trail, about half a mile from camp.
Mark, how are you holding up over there?
I'm in a wheelchair, Ralph. Lost my legs in Iraq. '06. I've got a Remington 870 shotgun in my lap right now, and a Glock 19 on the table next to me. 56 rounds between both weapons. If something comes through my door tonight, it's going to have to work for it.
Mark, the sheriff said to stay inside and lock up.
I am inside, but I'm not hiding. I didn't survive Fallujah to die in my own house because I was too scared to fight back. Whatever's out there, it bleeds. And if it bleeds, I can kill it.
I hope you're right, Mark.
So do I, Ralph. So do I.
Next caller.
Ralph, it's Jack Burrell. I own the Gulf Station on Route 22.
Jack, what's going on?
I've been listening to your show all day. I'm closing up right now. Taking my wife and kids to my brother's place in Morristown. We're leaving in about 20 minutes. But Ralph, I need to tell you something. Annie from the diner, she called me this afternoon, asked if I could give her a ride out of town, said she was scared to drive alone at night.
What did you tell her?
I told her no. I said there wasn't room in the car. That's a lie, Ralph. We've got room. I panicked. I wanted to get my family out, and I didn't want to wait for her to pack, or I don't know. Now, Annie's at that diner right now, probably locking up by herself, and I'm sitting here wondering if I'm doing what's best for my family or if I'm just a coward.
Jack, you're not a coward. You're a father trying to protect your kids. But do me a favor. Call Annie right now. Tell her to close up that diner and go straight home. Tell her to lock every door and stay inside until morning. Can you do that?
Yeah. Now, I'll call her right now.
Good, man. And Jack, get your family out safe. That's not cowardice. That's survival. I don't know what else to say tonight. If you're listening and you're on the east side of town, The advice is simple. Stay inside, lock your doors, don't go outside, don't investigate sounds, don't try to be a hero, just stay inside until morning. Terry, if you're still listening, keep your phone close. Someone will call you every hour. Jack, you're not a coward, you're a father. There's a difference. Mark, I hope you don't need those guns tonight. I really hope you don't. My wife Deborah just walked in. She wants me to come home? I will, Deb. Soon as I sign off, I promise. I'll be back on the air tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We'll get through this together, Crystal Lake. We have to. This is Ralph Christy, WCLK 1340 AM. Stay safe, everyone. Please, stay safe.
This is Norman Crane, and you're listening to an emergency episode of Cryptid Chronicles. For those who don't know, I usually cover Bigfoot sightings, UFO encounters, lake monsters, fun stuff, speculative stuff, things we can debate over coffee. Today is different. Today I'm broadcasting from my home in Crystal Lake, and what's happening in my town right now is not entertainment. People are dying, so I brought on someone who's been researching this case for 15 years. Dr. Lawrence Miles is a cryptozoologist and paranormal researcher who's written extensively about what he calls the Jason Voorhees phenomenon. Dr. Miles, thank you for making time on what I know is short notice.
Norman, I appreciate you reaching out. This is exactly the kind of situation my research has been trying to prepare people for.
Let's start with the basics. For listeners who aren't familiar with Crystal Lake history, can you give us the case file?
Absolutely. 1957. A boy named Jason Voorhees, age 11 or 12, drowns at Camp Crystal Lake during swim time. The significant detail here is that his body was never recovered. They dragged the lake for 3 days and found nothing. 1979. His mother, Pamela Voorhees, returns to the camp and kills multiple counselors in revenge. She's killed by Alice Hardy in self-defense. Between 1980 and 1984, we have a series of incidents at the camp. Multiple deaths, witnesses describing a large male attacker, hockey mask appearing after 82. Police investigations are inconclusive, and the camp closes permanently in 84.
Until yesterday. So we're looking at a 40-year pattern of violence tied to this specific location.
Correct. And it's not random violence. Every incident occurs when someone attempts to reopen or occupy the camp. The pattern is territorial, protective, almost possessive. Whatever this is, it views Camp Crystal Lake as its domain.
Okay. So let's talk about what this actually is. You've studied this for years. What are we dealing with?
I have 4 working theories, and I want to stress that I'm presenting these as possibilities, not certainties. Theory 1, undead entity. Jason didn't fully die in 57. His body underwent some kind of transformation, possibly triggered by his mother's rage and grief. The camp itself may be cursed ground, and Jason's corpse was animated by maternal vengeance. The evidence supporting this is witness testimony. Multiple people report shooting him, stabbing him, and he doesn't stop. Chris Higgins, who spoke on the news earlier today, described bearing an axe in his shoulder and watching him pull it out and continue attacking.
That's theory 1. What's theory 2?
Copycat killer. The original Jason, if he ever existed as a killer, is long dead. Someone is using the legend to cover their murders. This would explain how Jason appears across different decades. The problem with this theory is that it doesn't account for the superhuman durability witnesses consistently report. Unless we're talking about multiple copycat killers over 40 years, all coordinating to maintain the same legend, this doesn't hold up well.
Theory 3.
Mass hysteria. There's no single killer. What we're seeing is a series of unrelated incidents that the legend has connected in people's minds. The camp creates expectation, and people see what they expect to see. However, this theory completely falls apart when we look at the current body count. We have trained police officers, search and rescue personnel, people who don't spook easily, and they're refusing to enter the property. Mass hysteria doesn't explain that level of institutional response.
And theory 4, you said you had 4.
Theory 4 is the most esoteric, but I take it seriously. Tulpa, or thought form. The collective belief in Jason has created an actual entity. He exists because people believe he exists. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a concept of a tulpa, a being created through spiritual or mental powers. Essentially, if enough people believe in something strongly enough, it can manifest. Jason has been feared, discussed, warned about for 40 years. That's a lot of psychic energy focused on one entity. This theory suggests that Jason is real now because we've made him real through our collective consciousness.
The wellness company was preparing to reopen the camp next week despite all the warnings. They had a work crew on site yesterday when this happened. Why?
Corporate arrogance. They thought the legend was superstition, that 40 years of deaths could be explained away as accidents and isolated incidents. There was significant local opposition to reopening. Ralph Christy has been warning people for 17 years. Chris Higgins spoke at town council meetings. Multiple residents protested the permits. But economic incentive overrode caution. The company saw a property they could get cheap because of its history, and they thought they could rebrand it. Wellness center, fresh start, positive energy. They dismissed the warnings as fear-mongering. This was preventable, Norman, entirely preventable. You don't build on a graveyard. You don't disturb cursed ground. Every culture on Earth understands this principle, except modern capitalism.
Okay, so here's the question my listeners need answered. If someone is in Crystal Lake right now, what should they do?
Treat this as if Jason is real and supernatural. That's the safest assumption. First, stay away from Camp Crystal Lake property. Minimum 2 miles. The state police perimeter is there for a reason. Second, if you encounter him, do not engage. Don't try to fight. Don't try to reason with him. Running is your only option. He's strong and he's relentless, but he moves at a steady pace. If you can get distance and hide effectively, you have a chance.
What about defending yourself? Barricading?
Barricades buy time, but they don't hold forever. Witnesses report him breaking through doors, windows, barriers. He'll test every entry point, and if he finds a weakness, he'll exploit it. Weapons appear largely ineffective based on historical accounts. Firearms don't stop him. Bladed weapons don't stop him. Your best defense is to not be found. Stay hidden, stay quiet, and hope he moves on to another target.
That's terrifying advice. Is there anything that actually works against him?
Distance and concealment are your best options. He's territorial, so staying away from the camp helps. But based on tonight's reports, his territory may be expanding. If possible, leave town entirely until this is resolved. Get out of Crystal Lake. Stay with family elsewhere. Wait for the all clear.
Can he be killed?
I don't know. Historically, no one has succeeded in permanently stopping him. Multiple witnesses have reported what they thought were fatal injuries, only to have him get back up. The best case scenario is that he can be contained or driven away, but eliminated, based on 40 years of data, I'm not confident that's possible.
Dr. Miles, thank you for your time and your research. I hope you're wrong about all of this, but I'm afraid you're not.
So am I, Norman. Please tell your listeners. Lock your doors, stay inside, stay quiet. This is why we study these things, not for entertainment, but for moments like this, when that knowledge might save lives.
This is Norman Crane, Cryptid Chronicles. Stay safe, Crystal Lake, and please, take this seriously.
This is an emergency broadcast. At 10:45 this evening, an active threat was reported outside the Camp Crystal Lake exclusion zone. The individual believed responsible for 12 deaths at the camp has been sighted in a residential area of eastern Crystal Lake, specifically on Cunningham Road. Residents on Cunningham Road, Henderson Trail, and Forest View Drive are advised to remain indoors with doors and windows locked. Do not approach windows. Do not go outside. State police are coordinating a manhunt in the area. This is not a drill. If you live east of Maple Avenue, shelter in place immediately. We're going live to Pamela Prescott.
Roger, I'm on Main Street near the sheriff's station, and the situation is tense but controlled. They are conducting a manhunt for a suspect who was sighted on Cunningham Road approximately 30 minutes ago. Sheriff Tierney has established a command post here at the station. State police tactical units are positioning around the eastern residential area. Roads leading to Cunningham Road and surrounding streets have been closed. This is being treated as an armed suspect situation. I spoke with Deputy Margaret White 5 minutes ago. She confirmed that at 10:32, a 911 call came from a residence on Cunningham Road. The caller reported an intruder attempting to break into the home. Officers arrived at 10:41 and found 2 individuals deceased. Deputy White would not provide details, but she confirmed the deaths are consistent with the attacks at Camp Crystal Lake. The suspect was not at the scene when officers arrived, but witnesses on Henderson Trail reported seeing a large male matching the camp suspect's description walking through the area shortly after 11 o'clock.
Pamela, what are police telling residents in the affected area?
The message is very clear, Roger. Shelter in place. This is not a situation where people should try to leave their homes. The suspect is on foot, moving through residential streets, and authorities believe the safest option is for people to remain inside, locked in, with lights off and minimal noise. Sheriff Tierney is coordinating with state police to establish a perimeter around the area where the suspect was last seen. They're treating this like they would any armed and dangerous fugitive. Contain and search the area, minimize civilian exposure.
We have Sheriff Aaron Tierney on the line now. Sheriff, what can you tell us?
At 10:32 this evening, we received a 911 call from a residence on Cunningham Road reporting an attempted break-in. Officers responded and found 2 individuals deceased at that location. At approximately 10:58, officers on Henderson Trail encountered an individual matching the description of the Camp Crystal Lake suspect. Officers gave verbal commands. The suspect did not comply. Officers discharged their firearms. The suspect was struck multiple times but continued moving and fled into a wooded area between Henderson Trail and Forest View Drive.
Sheriff, you're saying officers shot the suspect and he continued moving?
That's correct. Multiple officers fired. The suspect was hit, but he did not go down and he did not stop. He moved into the tree line and officers lost visual contact. We have units surrounding that area now. We're treating this as an active manhunt for an armed and extremely dangerous individual.
Can you describe the suspect for our listeners?
Large male, over 6 feet tall, approximately 200 to 250 pounds, wearing a hockey mask, dark clothing, armed with a large bladed weapon. He moves deliberately, does not run but maintains a steady walking pace, does not respond to verbal commands, does not appear to be deterred by law enforcement presence or the discharge of firearms. If you see this individual, do not approach. Do not attempt to engage. Get inside immediately and call 911.
What's being done to locate him?
We have state police tactical units establishing a perimeter around the last known location. We have K-9 units being brought in. We're going door to door on Cunningham Road and Henderson Trail, advising residents to shelter in place. Some residents are choosing to leave, and we're facilitating that for anyone who can reach their vehicles safely. But our strong recommendation is to stay inside, stay quiet, and wait for us to clear the area. Moving around right now, especially on foot, puts you at risk.
How long do you expect this manhunt to take?
I can't give you a timeline, Roger. We're dealing with an individual who has already killed 12 people and who has demonstrated he will not surrender or respond to standard law enforcement protocols. We're going to take our time and prioritize the safety of residents and officers. This could take hours. It could go into tomorrow morning. We're prepared for a long operation.
Sheriff Tierney, thank you. Please keep us updated. We have Virginia Loomis on the line. Virginia, you live on Forest View Drive. Can you tell us what you saw?
I was closing my curtains around 10:45. I saw him walk right past my house. Big man, really big, wearing that hockey mask the sheriff described, carrying a machete. He was just walking down the middle of the street, not hurrying, not hiding, just walking like he was out for an evening stroll. He stopped at my neighbor's house, Mr. Chen lives there, and stood on the porch for maybe 10 or 15 seconds. Just stood there looking at the door. Then he moved on to the next house.
What did you do?
I dropped to the floor immediately and turned off every light. I have a cordless phone, so I crawled to the kitchen and called 911. A few minutes later, I heard footsteps on my porch. Heavy, slow, deliberate footsteps. He stopped right at my front door. I could hear breathing, Roger. This heavy, rasping sound, like it was coming through the mask. I was lying on my kitchen floor thinking, this is it. But then the footsteps moved on. He went down my porch steps, and I heard him continue down the street.
Where are you now?
Still on my kitchen floor. I haven't moved. My car is in the driveway, but I'd have to go outside to get to it, and I'm not doing that. The police told me to stay inside, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I heard something maybe 10 minutes ago, screaming, coming from down the street. Then it stopped, just stopped completely. I don't know if police are close by or if we're just waiting here hoping he doesn't come back.
Virginia, stay exactly where you are. Police are in the area conducting the search. You did the right thing. If you're just joining us, this is an emergency broadcast. The individual responsible for multiple deaths at Camp Crystal Lake has been sighted in residential areas of eastern Crystal Lake, specifically Cunningham Road, Henderson Trail, and Forest View Drive. The suspect is described as a large male, over 6 feet tall, wearing a hockey mask, armed with a machete. He is considered extremely dangerous. If you live in the affected area, shelter in place, lock all doors and windows, turn off lights, remain quiet, do not investigate sounds outside, do not attempt to leave on foot. If you can safely reach your vehicle from inside your home and choose to leave, drive west toward Main Street. Otherwise, remain inside until police clear the area. State police are conducting an active manhunt. This is a contained operation in a specific residential area. We will continue monitoring throughout the night. For WCLK News, this is Roger Thornhill. Stay inside, stay quiet, stay safe.
If you're in the eastern part of town, get out now, get in your car, drive west, go to family or a hotel or anywhere that's not here. Just leave. If you can't leave, barricade yourself, lock everything, turn off the lights, be silent. He's out there. Jason Voorhees is in the town. I'm saying his name because pretending he doesn't exist hasn't kept anyone safe. Lines are open, but if you're in danger, call 911 first, then call me if you need to. 555-2488. I have someone on the line. Lisa, go ahead.
Ralph, it's Lisa. I'm whispering because I don't want to wake my kids. Emily's 7, Jake's 5. They're upstairs sleeping.
Lisa, where are you exactly?
Forest View Drive. I locked everything as soon as I heard the news. Every door, every window. Double-checked them all. Ralph, someone's outside.
Okay, tell me what you hear. Stay calm and tell me what you hear.
Breathing. Heavy breathing. Like it's coming through the walls. I don't understand how I can hear it, but I can. And footsteps. Slow footsteps on wood. Oh God, Ralph. He's on the porch. He's on my porch right now.
Lisa, listen to me very carefully. I need you to go upstairs right now. Right now. Get your kids and lock yourself in a bedroom. Can you do that?
If I move, he'll hear me. The stairs creak, Ralph. If I go up there, he'll know.
Lisa, you need to move. You can't stay down there. Please, get your children and get to safety.
Emma, I'm going to try. I'm going to... Oh, God. The window. Ralph, the kitchen window.
Lisa, run right now.
The kids. I can't. If I scream, they'll wake up.
Get your kids, Lisa. Get them and lock the bathroom door. Lisa!
Emily! Jake! Wake up! Wake up right now! Don't look! Don't look! Just run! Get in the bathroom! Mommy's right behind you, baby. Just get in the bathroom! Lock the...
Lisa! Lisa! Talk to me! You son of a bitch! You... Lisa. She had 2 kids. Emily, 7 years old, and Jake, 5. They were sleeping. They were asleep upstairs. And she tried to get to them, and I told her to run. I told her to go upstairs, and she said the stairs creak. She didn't want him to hear. She was trying to protect him by staying quiet, and I told her to run. And now they're all, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Lisa. I couldn't help you. I couldn't do anything. I just listened. I just sat here and listened while you died trying to save your babies. If anyone else is out there, if you're thinking about calling, don't call me. I can't. Call 911. Get help. Real help. Not me. I can't save you. I can't save anyone. But the lines are still open, because what else can I do? I need a minute. My producer is on the phone with the police. I know it's too late, but we're sending help. Lisa, please be okay. Let's hear from Steve. Steve, you're on the show.
Ralph, it's Steve. I live near Lisa's place on Forest View.
Steve.
I heard the screams just now. I heard them through the walls. I saw flashlights moving in her windows, and then nothing. That was her, wasn't it? On your show just now, that was Lisa dying.
Yeah, that was her.
Her kids?
Her kids, too.
I'm in my basement. I came down here an hour ago, and I'm not leaving. I can't.
Stay there, Steve. Just stay there. Don't come out. Don't make noise.
I should have stopped them when they were reopening the camp. I should have done more. I worked there in '81. I saw what it was like. I knew. This is on all of us, Ralph. Everyone who knew and stayed quiet. Lisa's dead because we let that camp open. Those kids are dead because we...
Steve, are you there? I don't know if he hung up or I don't know. 2 calls, and one woman is dead with her children. And I don't even know if Steve's still alive. What am I doing? What am I doing sitting here taking calls? This is a normal night. I shouldn't answer this. I shouldn't. But someone's calling and maybe they need help. Maybe I can actually help this time. Maybe. This is Ralph.
Ralph. I went outside. I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have gone outside, but I heard noises and I thought maybe it was Buster. Maybe my dog came back.
Terry McCarthy, you called earlier. You're on Cunningham Road.
I found him, Ralph. I found Buster behind the house. He's oh God, Ralph. He's cut in half. Just cut right in half like he was nothing.
Terry, where are you right now? Are you back inside?
No, I'm still outside. There's a man, Ralph, standing at the tree line, maybe 30 feet away from me. Big man, hockey mask. He's just standing there looking at me, not moving, just looking.
Terry, listen very carefully. I need you to back away slowly. Don't run. Don't turn your back. Just back away toward your car.
My car. Okay, I can do that. It's right here. I'm at my car.
Good, Terry. Now get in the car right now and drive west toward Main Street and don't stop for anything.
I'm getting in. I'm in the car. Keys. Where are my keys? Come on. Okay, I got it started. I'm okay, Ralph. I'm in the car and he's coming. Oh, Jesus, Ralph.
Drive! Terry, drive now!
I'm trying. The door's still open and I can't...
Terry, get out of there! Drive! Damn it. Terry McCarthy. I told her to get in her car. I told her she'd be safe if she just got in the car and drove. And she did. She did exactly what I said. She got in the car and he ran. He ran after her and he got to her before she could close the door. She died doing what I told her to do. Lisa and her kids, Terry, they called me for help. They trusted me. They thought, I don't know what they thought, that I'd know what to do, that I could guide them through this. And all I did was give them advice that got them killed. All I did was listen to them die. I can't do this. I can't keep, their families are going to hear this. Lisa's husband is going to hear his wife and children dying on the radio. Terry's, someone is going to hear her last moments. And it'll be my voice telling her what to do right before she... If you're listening, if you're out there and you're thinking about calling, don't call me. I'm begging you. Call 911. Call the police. Call someone who can actually help you. Don't call me. All I can do is listen to you die, and I can't hear anyone else. I can't... But I'm not hanging up. I'm not turning off the phones. Because what if someone calls who actually needs help? What if someone calls and I can say the right thing and they survive? I have to stay. I have to keep the watch, even if it's killing me. Even if every call might be another person dying while I listen helplessly. I have to stay. This is Ralph Christy. 2 women just died on my show. Lisa Fremont and her 2 children, Emily and Jake, and Terry McCarthy. I couldn't save them. I tried. God knows I tried. But I couldn't save them. I don't know if I'll be here in the morning. I don't know if any of us will. But I'll stay on as long as I can. If you're still alive out there, if you're hiding, if you're scared, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm listening. And I'm so sorry I can't do more.
Truth seekers, patriots, anyone who's awake right now listening to this stream, you need to hear what I'm about to tell you. They're lying to you, all of them. The police, the news, the government, they're feeding you a story about a mass killer, about some random lunatic at a summer camp, and you're supposed to just accept that. You're supposed to believe that trained police officers, search and rescue teams, heavily armed state police can't handle one man with a machete. Does that make sense to you? Does that sound remotely plausible? Wake up, people, wake up! I've been monitoring police scanners all night. I have sources inside the department, people who are terrified to speak publicly but who trust me to get the truth out. This is not a random killer. This is bigger. This is orchestrated. This is a cover-up. And I'm going to break it down for you right now because somebody has to tell you what's really happening in Crystal Lake. Let's start with Camp Crystal Lake itself. That camp was closed for 40 years. 40 years. And suddenly, out of nowhere, a wellness company decides to reopen it, just like that. You want to know what I think? I think Camp Crystal Lake was used for classified government testing in the 50s and 60s. MK Ultra type programs, super soldier experiments, black budget operations that don't officially exist. Jason Voorhees, the boy who allegedly drowned in 57, he was a test subject. The experiment went wrong. The government covered it up, blamed it on a drowning, paid off the local authorities to keep quiet. 1979. Pamela Voorhees comes back and kills counselors. But were they really counselors? Or were they government agents monitoring the site? Alice Hardy, the woman who allegedly killed Pamela in self-defense, she was also an agent. She eliminated Pamela because Pamela discovered the truth about what happened to her son. Think about it. Why else would the camp stay closed for so long? Why the constant surveillance? Why the immediate state police takeover when things went wrong yesterday? Because they're not trying to stop Jason, they're trying to contain the evidence. Or maybe it's not even human enhancement we're talking about. Maybe it's biological. What if Jason isn't an enhanced human? What if he's infected with something, a weaponized virus or fungus that turns people into killers? Camp Crystal Lake is the outbreak site. The government has been monitoring it for decades, waiting to see if the infection would die out or spread. And now they deliberately reopened the camp. Why? To test transmission rates. Those wellness retreat guests, guinea pigs, human subjects in an unauthorized experiment. The infection is spreading now. That's why no one can stop it. That's why trained officers are dying. You can't shoot a virus. You can't arrest a plague. And I'm telling you right now, when the authorities show up with vaccines, when they start setting up checkpoints and telling you it's for your protection, do not comply. Those vaccines aren't to protect you. They're to control you. They'll say it's to prevent infection, but what they're really doing is tracking who's been exposed, who might know too much, who needs to be silenced. Stay away from government checkpoints. Do not let them vaccinate you. This is about control. But there's another angle here, and it's darker than you can imagine. What if this isn't science at all? What if this is ritual magic? Camp Crystal Lake sits on ley lines. I've studied the geography. I've mapped the energy fields. That camp is a power nexus, and we're approaching the summer solstice, a time of great spiritual significance for elite occultists. This is a mass sacrifice. Jason isn't a person. He's a summoned entity, a demon called forth by the ruling cabal to feed on fear and death. Think about who sits on the Crystal Lake Town Council. Think about who approved those permits to reopen the camp despite massive opposition. They're cult members. They wanted this to happen. They needed the camp open because they needed fresh victims for their ritual. The Illuminati, Bohemian Grove, Moloch worship, it's all connected. These people, these elites, they feed on our suffering. They orchestrate events like this to harvest fear energy. Jason is their instrument, the camp is their altar, and we're all potential sacrifices. Why do you think local government officials let the camp reopen? Because they wanted this. They planned this. Every death feeds the entity. Every scream empowers their dark masters. This isn't random. This is deliberate. This is evil at the highest levels of power. So what do? How do you protect yourself when the authorities are compromised? When the government is a threat? When the police can or won't help you? First, do not trust the official narrative. Everything they're telling you is designed to keep you compliant and confused. Second, do not evacuate if they tell you to evacuate. Government evacuation centers are collection points. They'll round you up, process you, and you'll never be seen again. Third, arm yourselves. I don't care what the law says about weapons. Your life is more important than their regulations. Get guns, get ammunition, form neighborhood militias. Protect your streets because the police aren't coming to save you. I know I'm being monitored right now. I know they're tracking this stream, identifying everyone who's listening, building their lists. They'll try to silence me. They'll call me a conspiracy theorist, a dangerous radical, a threat to public safety. But you know what? I'm the only one telling you the truth. Download this stream, share it everywhere, mirror it on every platform you can. They can't silence us all. The truth will get out. It has to get out. Wait, what was that sound? Someone's outside. I heard something outside my window. They found me. They actually found me. I knew this would happen. I knew they'd come for me. If this stream cuts out, you'll know they got me. You'll know I was right. Remember what I said. Don't trust them. Don't comply. Fight back. The truth is,
This is Roger Thornhill with an update at 2:17 in the morning. It's been approximately 90 minutes since the last confirmed sighting of the suspect in eastern Crystal Lake. 90 minutes of silence. I wish I could tell you that means it's over, but based on what we're hearing from witnesses and law enforcement, silence doesn't mean safety. Not with this individual. The death toll stands at 14. Lisa Fremont and her 2 children, Emily and Jake, on Forest View Drive. Terry McCarthy on Cunningham Road. Those deaths occurred between 11:30 and midnight. Since then, no new attacks have been reported. State police have established a perimeter around the eastern residential area. They're holding position, not advancing, waiting for first light. Sunrise is in approximately 3 hours. Our field reporter Pamela Prescott has been sheltering at the sheriff's station on Maple Avenue since midnight. Pamela, what's the situation there?
Roger, I'm inside the sheriff's station with approximately 8 other people, a mix of officers and civilians who made it here before the area was locked down. The building is secure, windows barricaded, doors reinforced, one light on in the back office where Sheriff Tierney is coordinating by radio. Everything else is dark. The civilians who made it here include an elderly couple from Cunningham Road who watched their neighbor's house from their window. They saw lights, heard screaming, then nothing. There's a young woman, maybe 19, whose parents told her to run while they stayed behind. She made it here on foot. Her parents didn't. And there's a man in his 40s who was driving home from work when he saw police lights and roadblocks. He abandoned his car and ran here. These people are traumatized, Roger. They've seen things tonight that nobody should see, but they're alive. For now, that's all we can say.
What's the atmosphere like in there?
Terrified silence. Nobody's talking. A few people are praying quietly. One woman is just staring at the wall. Hasn't moved in an hour. The officers are trying to stay professional, but I can see it in their faces. This isn't a situation they were trained for. Every sound outside makes everyone freeze. Footsteps on gravel, wind rattling a window, a car door somewhere in the distance. Everyone holds their breath, listening, waiting to see if it's him.
Have there been any sounds outside the station?
Yes. About 45 minutes ago, we heard heavy footsteps outside. Slow, deliberate, walking past the building. They paused near the front entrance for maybe 10 or 15 seconds. Just stopped there. Then they continued and faded away. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. We just sat in the dark and listened until we couldn't hear them anymore. 20 minutes ago, one of the officers thought he heard the back door handle being tested. Just subtle movement, like someone was checking if it was locked. It stopped after a few seconds. Sheriff Tierney went to check, looked through the window, saw nothing. But nobody's convinced he's gone. He could be anywhere, watching, waiting.
Is there anyone there who's encountered this individual before? Someone who can help people understand what they're dealing with?
Yes, Roger. Chris Higgins is here. She survived an encounter with this same individual in 1982. Chris, can you speak with Roger?
I'm here, Roger.
Chris, you've been through something like this before. What are people not understanding about this situation?
They're thinking about this like it's a normal threat. A shooter, a home invader, someone who's panicking or desperate or making mistakes. This isn't that. This is someone or something that hunts you. He doesn't rush, he doesn't panic, he doesn't tire. And most importantly, he's patient. More patient than anyone can imagine.
You keep mentioning patience. Why is that important?
Because people need to understand that silence doesn't mean he's gone. In 1982, one of my friends was hiding in a barn. She was injured but alive. She could hear him outside for maybe 30 minutes, then nothing. Complete silence for over 2 hours. She thought he'd left. She thought she was safe, so she cracked the door open to look outside. He was standing right there, 5 feet from the door, like he'd been waiting the entire time for her to do exactly that, just standing there in complete silence, waiting. She died before she could even scream. That's what people hiding in their homes right now need to understand. You can't outlast his patience. You can't wait him out. If he knows you're in there, he'll wait as long as it takes for you to make a mistake. Hours, if necessary. He has all the time in the world.
So what should people do if they're trapped in their homes?
Don't move, don't make noise, don't open doors, don't look out windows, don't investigate sounds. He hunts by sound and movement. If you stay completely still and completely quiet, there's a chance he won't find you. Not a guarantee, but it's the only chance. And whatever you do, don't assume he's gone just because you can't hear him anymore. That's when he's most dangerous.
In 82, you and your friends fought back. You said you hit him with an axe. Is fighting back an option?
No. I was young and desperate, and I thought if I could hurt him badly enough, he'd stop. I buried an axe in his shoulder, watched him pull it out like it was nothing. We shot him, we stabbed him, we threw everything we had at him. And he kept coming. Every single time. He kept coming. Fighting back just makes him focus on you. Your only hope is to not be found in the first place.
Chris, thank you for that. I know reliving this can't be easy. Sheriff Aaron Tierney is there as well. Sheriff, what's the current law enforcement strategy?
Roger, we're holding position until sunrise. State police have tactical units staged at the perimeter of the eastern residential area. They're not advancing, they're not conducting sweeps, they're maintaining a secure line and waiting for daylight. I know that's not what people want to hear. I know families are desperate for us to go in there and get their loved ones out. But sending officers into that area in the dark against an individual who has already killed 14 people and who appears immune to standard deterrence, that's not a rescue operation. That's a suicide mission.
What happens at sunrise?
We reassess. We'll have visibility. We'll be able to coordinate properly. We can send teams in with air support, with clear sight lines, with the ability to see what we're dealing with. Right now, in the dark, we're operating blind. And this individual, he thrives in the dark. He knows that terrain. He knows those woods. He has every advantage. At first light, that changes.
Do you believe people who are hiding in their homes can survive until dawn?
I have to believe that, Roger. The alternative is unacceptable. We've had no new reports of attacks for 90 minutes. That suggests he's either left the residential area or he's waiting. If people stay hidden, stay quiet, stay completely still, they can make it to sunrise. Once we have light, we can get them out. 3 more hours, that's all we need. 3 more hours.
Sheriff Tierney, thank you. It's now 2:43 in the morning. The sun will rise at approximately 6:45. 3 hours from now. If you are in the eastern residential area of Crystal Lake, if you are hiding in your home, if you are waiting for help, please listen carefully to the following guidance. Do not move from your hiding place. Do not make any noise. Do not turn on lights. Do not open doors or windows. Do not look outside. Do not investigate sounds you hear. If you hear footsteps outside your home, remain completely still. If you hear someone testing your door, do not react. If you hear sounds that make you think someone has left, do not come out of hiding. The individual responsible for tonight's attacks is patient. He will wait. He will listen. He will use silence against you. Your only safety is in remaining hidden. Law enforcement will conduct rescue operations at first light. Help is coming. Stay hidden. Stay silent. Stay alive. For those of you who are safe outside the affected area, please keep the families of the missing in your thoughts. We have 14 confirmed dead. Lisa Fremont, age 34, and her children Emily and Jake, ages 7 and 5, Terry McCarthy, age 41. Additional casualties from the Camp Crystal Lake property earlier this weekend, and 2 individuals from tonight who remain unaccounted for. These were our neighbors, our friends, people who were simply in their homes when the unthinkable happened. I'm going to stay on the air. We'll continue monitoring the situation and providing updates as they come. To everyone listening in the eastern area, you are not alone. We are here. We are watching. This is Roger Thornhill, WCLK News. Stay hidden, stay quiet, stay strong.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Lisa and her children are dead. Terry McCarthy is dead. They died on my show. They called me for help, and I gave them advice that got them killed. I've been sitting here for 8 hours listening to people die, and I can't do it anymore. I can't just sit here and talk. I can't just broadcast while people are being slaughtered. I'm done talking. I'm going to Crystal Lake. I'm going to that camp, and I'm going to kill him. The monster who killed my son, Jason Voorhees, whatever he is, I'm going to end this. I have a 12-gauge shotgun in my car, Remington 870. Been in my family for 30 years. I'm loading it right now, and I'm driving to that camp, and I'm putting an end to this nightmare. Deborah, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I know you're going to be furious. I know you're going to say I'm being stupid, that I'm going to get myself killed. You're probably right, but I can't sit here anymore. I can't keep watching this happen. 17 years I've warned people. 17 years of talking, and it didn't save anyone. Maybe action will. Before I go, I am going to take one final call.
Ralph, it's Jack Burrow. Don't do this, man. You can't go out there.
Jack, you made it out with your family. That's good.
Ralph, listen to me. I heard what happened on your show, Lisa and Terry. That's not your fault. You were trying to help them. You can't blame yourself for what that thing did to them.
Can't I? I told Lisa to run upstairs. I told her to move. She said the stairs creaked and she was trying to stay quiet to protect her kids. And I told her to run anyway. Then I listened to her die. Listened to Emily and Jake die. 7 and 5 years old Jack. I listened to children being murdered because they followed my advice.
You didn't kill him, he did. Jason did.
And Jason is still out there, right now, hunting, killing, while I sit here in a radio studio doing nothing. While the police hide behind their perimeter doing nothing. While the state police wait for dawn doing nothing. Somebody has to do something. If nobody else will, I will.
Ralph, you're not a cop. You're not trained for this. You're going to get yourself killed.
Then I get killed. At least I'll die trying to stop him instead of sitting here listening to other people die. At least I'll die doing something. I'm 68 years old, Jack. I've lived a good life. Deborah and I have had 42 years together. I don't have kids, but I've had a good run. Lisa Fremont's kids were 7 and 5. They didn't get a good run. They died terrified in their own home because nobody stopped this when they should have.
Ralph, please.
I'm going, Jack. My mind's made up. If I don't come back, tell Deborah I love her. Tell her I'm sorry I couldn't just come home like she asked. Tell her I had to try. That was Jack Burrell. Good man, saved his family, did what he had to do. Now I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm leaving the station in 5 minutes. I'm driving to Camp Crystal Lake. The shotgun is loaded. I have 2 boxes of shells, 40 rounds total. If Jason Voorhees can be killed, I'm going to kill him. If he can't be killed, well, at least I tried. To everyone listening, stay inside, stay hidden, don't be stupid like me. But somebody has to go. Somebody has to face him. And if the police won't, if the state police won't, if nobody with a badge and training will do it, then it falls to a 68-year-old radio host with a shotgun and nothing left to lose. Maybe I'm crazy. Crazy Ralph, finally living up to the name, but doing nothing is crazier. Sitting here while more people die is crazier. This is Ralph Christy, signing off from WCLK 1340 AM. I don't know if there'll be another broadcast if I don't make it back. Someone else will have to keep the watch. Deborah, I love you more than anything. Forgive me. Crystal Lake, I tried to warn you. I tried for 17 years. Maybe I can do more than warn. Maybe I can end it. I'm leaving, going to Camp Crystal Lake, and I'm going to kill Jason Voorhees or die trying.
This is Roger Thornhill with WCLK News. And what I'm about to report is extraordinary. The individual responsible for 14 confirmed deaths over the past 2 days has been stopped. The threat to Crystal Lake appears to be over. And the person responsible for ending this nightmare was Ralph Christy, the radio host who spent 17 years warning us about Camp Crystal Lake. Ralph Christy died at approximately 6:45 this morning at the camp, but his final actions may have saved this town. We're going now to Pamela Prescott, who is at the camp with state police. Pamela, what can you tell us?
Roger, I'm standing at the Camp Crystal Lake perimeter, and the scene behind me is something I'll never forget. At approximately 7 o'clock this morning, state police entered the camp property for the first time since Saturday. They found extensive evidence of violence throughout the camp. Bodies from the wellness retreat and first responders scattered across the property. But they also found something else. On the dock extending into Crystal Lake, they found Ralph Christy's body. And in the water below the dock, approximately 15 feet down, they found the body of a large male matching the description of the suspect who has been terrorizing this town. Roger, the suspect's body is chained to concrete blocks at the bottom of the lake. And based on the evidence at the scene, Ralph Christy is the one who put him there.
Pamela, how do authorities know what happened? Were there witnesses?
Roger, Ralph had a video camera with him, a handheld camcorder, the kind reporters use for field documentation. The camera was found on the dock, still recording when police arrived. State police have reviewed the footage. I have not seen it myself, but I've been briefed on what it shows. Captain Thorwald is here with me now. Captain, can you describe what the video documents?
The video is difficult to watch. Ralph Christy arrived at Camp Crystal Lake around 6:15 this morning. The camera timestamp shows he began recording at 6:17. He's carrying the camera and a shotgun, and he has a large duffel bag over his shoulder. He walks through the camp documenting what he finds. Bodies, evidence of the massacre that occurred over the past 2 days. His voice is shaking, but he's making sure everything is recorded. At approximately 6:38, Ralph reaches the main lodge. The video shows him entering and finding the suspect inside. Large male, over 6 feet tall, wearing a hockey mask, holding a machete. Ralph fires the shotgun multiple times. The suspect is hit, staggers, drops the machete. Ralph fires again. The suspect goes down to one knee.
Captain, witnesses all weekend reported firearms being ineffective against this individual. How did Ralph manage to incapacitate him?
I don't know if Ralph incapacitated him or if the suspect was already weakened. The video shows Ralph approaching cautiously. The suspect is on the ground, not moving. Ralph keeps the shotgun trained on him. Then Ralph opens the duffel bag. He pulls out heavy chains, the kind used for towing or securing cargo. Also several concrete blocks, the type used for anchoring. Ralph came prepared, Pamela. He knew what he was going to do. The video shows Ralph wrapping the chains around the suspect multiple times, securing them tightly. The suspect doesn't move during this. Ralph works quickly, breathing hard, clearly terrified but determined. Once the chains are secure, Ralph drags the suspect out of the lodge. The suspect is large, over 200 pounds, but Ralph manages to pull him across the campgrounds toward the lake. It takes several minutes. Ralph is exhausted, stopping repeatedly to rest, but he keeps going.
Did the suspect regain consciousness at any point?
The video shows the suspect's hand twitching at one point. Ralph sees this and fires the shotgun again. Then Ralph reaches the dock. He attaches the concrete blocks to the chains, maybe 200 pounds of weight total. But Ralph doesn't stop there. The video shows him walking back to his truck, which he's parked near the dock. He attaches the other end of the chains to the truck's rear axle. Ralph then opens the driver's door and appears to be rigging something. He's placing what looks like a weighted object on the gas pedal, setting up the truck to drive itself forward into the lake. Ralph steps back from the truck, moving toward his supplies. The camera is positioned on the dock, capturing the scene from about 20 feet away. Ralph retrieves an axe from his gear, a full-size wood-cutting axe. The video shows him approaching the suspect, who's chained to the truck, standing motionless at the water's edge.
What was Ralph trying to do?
Based on what we see, Ralph was attempting decapitation. He raises the axe. You can see his hands shaking. He's not a young man. He's exhausted, but he's committed. Ralph brings the axe down toward the suspect's neck, and then, and this is difficult to describe, the suspect moves. Despite being shot multiple times, despite the chains, the suspect catches the axe mid-swing. Just catches it with one hand. The suspect pulls the axe away from Ralph, turns it. Ralph is struck in the upper torso, massive trauma. He staggers backward, falls against the truck, but he doesn't stop. Ralph crawls into the truck cab, blood trail visible on the ground. He reaches the ignition, turns the key. The engine starts. The weighted gas pedal engages. Ralph puts the truck in drive. The truck lurches forward toward the lake, with Ralph still partially inside the cab and the suspect still chained to it. The suspect is dragged forward, loses his footing. The truck enters the water. Ralph falls out of the driver's side door as the vehicle tips forward. The suspect's body is pulled into the lake behind the truck as the chains go taut. Both the truck and the suspect sink rapidly. Within seconds, they're gone beneath the surface. Ralph collapses on the shore where the truck entered the water, approximately 5 feet from the waterline.
Captain, what happened to Ralph?
Ralph was struck in the upper chest and shoulder with the axe. Massive trauma. The video shows him lying at the water's edge, bleeding heavily. He's trying to apply pressure to the wound, but it's clearly severe. The axe severed major blood vessels. Ralph manages to crawl a few feet toward the dock where he'd left the camera. He's trying to reach it, trying to keep documenting. At approximately 6:46, Ralph stops moving. His breathing becomes labored, then stops. Ralph Christy died at 6:48 a.m. from his injuries. The camera continued recording for another 12 minutes until state police arrived. Ralph died watching that water, making sure the suspect stayed down.
Captain Thorwald, has the suspect's body been recovered?
We have divers in the water now. They've located the body at approximately 15 feet below the surface, chained to concrete blocks as Ralph documented. The body is secured and stationary. The decision has been made to leave the body where it is for now. Attempting to recover it could be dangerous. The chains could come loose. The concrete could shift. We want to ensure the recovery is done safely with proper equipment and personnel.
Captain, I need to ask directly. Is the suspect dead?
Based on what we can observe, yes. The body has been underwater for over an hour at this point. It's weighted down with approximately 200 pounds of concrete. It's not moving. Divers report no signs of life. No movement, no breathing, no response to external stimuli. The suspect sustained multiple gunshot wounds before being submerged. Any normal person would be dead from those injuries alone. Add in being underwater for over an hour, and there's no reasonable scenario where the suspect could still be alive.
But you can't confirm death until the body is recovered and examined.
That's correct. But I want to be clear with the public. Based on all available evidence, the threat appears to be neutralized. The suspect is underwater, chained, weighted down, and showing no signs of life. Ralph Christy did what trained law enforcement could not do. He stopped the individual who terrorized this town. And while we cannot make a final determination until the body is recovered and examined by a medical examiner, we have every reason to believe the threat is over.
Captain, when will the body be recovered?
We're bringing in specialized dive teams and equipment. The recovery will happen today, but we're taking every precaution. We want to ensure this is done safely and that the suspect remains secured throughout the process. I expect we'll have the body recovered within the next 6 to 8 hours.
Captain Thorwald, thank you. Roger. I spoke with Deborah Christy, Ralph's widow, about 40 minutes ago. She's devastated. She told me Ralph called her from his car around 1:30 this morning. He told her he loved her, that he was sorry, and that he was going to Camp Crystal Lake to end this. She begged him not to go. Ralph told her, and I'm quoting, "Somebody has to face him, and if the police won't do it, then it has to be me." Deborah said she knew she couldn't stop him. She said Ralph had been carrying this burden for 17 years, and he couldn't carry it anymore. He had to try to end it, even if it cost him his life. And it did, Roger.
Is Deborah planning to make a statement?
Not at this time. The family has asked for privacy. But Deborah did want people to know that Ralph didn't go to that camp on impulse. He planned this. He brought chains and concrete blocks. He brought a camera to document what happened. Ralph knew he might not survive, but he wanted to make sure, even if he died, that the world would know he tried, that he finally did something more than warn. Deborah said, and these were her exact words, Ralph spent 17 years being called Crazy Ralph. Tonight, call him what he was. A hero who helped end the curse that this town has faced for over 40 years.
Yes, he was. We're going to take a brief moment. When we come back, we'll discuss what happens next for Crystal Lake and what Ralph Christy's actions mean for this community. But I want to say something as someone who has lived here for 32 years. Ralph Christy was right about everything. For 17 years, he warned us, and we dismissed him. We called him crazy. Last night, when people were dying, Ralph stayed on the air trying to help them. And when talking wasn't enough, he took action. He went to that camp alone with a plan to stop the individual who had murdered all those people. And based on what we're hearing from state police, he succeeded. Ralph Christy ended the curse of Crystal Lake, and we will never forget what he did. We'll be right back.
Folks, good morning. I'm Mayor John Roby, and I need to talk to you about what's happened in our town. Look, I've been mayor of Crystal Lake for 12 years, and I've dealt with budget crises. I've dealt with snowstorms that shut down the whole east side. I've dealt with that water main break back in 2018 that flooded half of Main Street. But what happened this weekend, this is something I never thought I'd have to stand up here and talk about. Not in Crystal Lake. Not in my town. We're still checking homes on the east side. We're still finding people. And every time my phone rings, every time Sheriff Tierney calls me, I'm afraid it's going to be another family I have to notify, another name I have to add to the list. As of 7 o'clock this morning, we have 14 confirmed dead, 14 people. That number might still go up as we complete our search of the camp property. These weren't strangers. These were our neighbors. Lisa Fremont and her 2 kids, Emily and Jake, Terry McCarthy, Mark Jarvis, the guy who survived Fallujah, came home, and this is what happens to him. In his own house, Annie Phillips from the diner. How many of you had coffee poured by Annie? How many of you knew her smile, her laugh, and Chief Finch, Raymond Finch, 32 years on the force, 3 kids, 2 grandkids. He responded to a call Friday night like he'd done 1,000 times before, and he never came home. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep it together here, but it's a lot. Okay, let me give you the timeline, because people are asking what happened. How did this happen? Why didn't we stop it? Friday, a work crew was at the Lakeside Wellness Center, formerly Camp Crystal Lake, completing final preparations for next week's grand opening. 8 people total, construction workers, facility managers, a safety inspector. By 6:15 that evening, we're getting 911 calls about screaming, about violence at the camp. Chief Finch and 3 officers responded. They never came back. Radio contact lost at 6:47 p.m. Saturday morning, state police sent in search and rescue with dogs, with paramedics, with everything. Lost contact with them too. Found 3 of them dead at the camp entrance. Saturday afternoon, they established a perimeter, 2-mile radius. Nobody in, nobody out. They're trying to figure out what they're dealing with. And then Saturday night, Around 10:30, the individual responsible, he left the camp, came into town, into the residential areas on the east side. For 4 hours, from 10:30 p.m. to about 2:30 in the morning, this individual moved through Cunningham Road, Henderson Trail, Forest View Drive, breaking into homes, attacking people. And our officers, brave men and women, they tried to stop him. They discharged their weapons multiple times, and he kept coming. That's what I'm told. He just kept coming. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, why didn't we call in the National Guard? Why didn't we have the Army here, the Marines, somebody with bigger guns? And that's a fair question. That's a very fair question. Here's the thing. The National Guard, they need authorization from the governor. That takes time. You got to make the request. They got to assess the situation. They got to mobilize. We're talking hours, minimum 4 to 6 hours. By the time we even knew we needed them, people were already dying. And the active duty military, federal troops, that's a whole different level. That requires federal authorization. That requires, declarations and legal frameworks. And look, I'm not making excuses here. I'm just telling you how it works. The system isn't built for whatever this was. Our protocols, our emergency response systems, they're designed for shooters, for terrorists, for natural disasters. They're not designed for something that doesn't go down when you shoot it, for something that breaks into locked houses like the locks don't matter. My grandson, he's 14. He plays these video games, Call of Duty, Resident Evil, all that. And there's this thing in the games where you're fighting these enemies that just keep coming no matter how many times you hit them. I used to think that was, just fantasy, just entertainment. Turns out maybe those game designers knew something. Maybe they were preparing kids for a world where the impossible happens. Because what happened this weekend, according to every witness, according to our own officers who were there, this was impossible. And it happened anyway. I want to address something else. Ralph Christy, for 17 years, Ralph Christy got on the radio and told us that camp was dangerous. Death curse, he called it. Don't open the camp. Stay away from that property. And you know what we did? We laughed at him. We called him Crazy Ralph. Behind his back, to his face, we dismissed him. I dismissed him. I sat in town council meetings where Ralph spoke, where he begged us not to approve the permits for that wellness center. And I voted yes anyway. I thought he was stuck in the past. I thought the legend had grown bigger than the facts. I thought we could move on. I was wrong. Ralph Christy was right about everything. And while we were sleeping last night, while people were dying, Ralph stayed on the air. He took calls from people who were terrified. He tried to help them. And some of them died while they were on the phone with him. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine trying to help someone, giving them advice, and then hearing them die? Hearing their last moments? Ralph carried that. And this morning, around 1:30 a.m., Ralph left his radio station. He drove to Camp Crystal Lake by himself with a shotgun. And based on what state police are telling me, Ralph Christy did what trained law enforcement, what tactical teams, what all of us could not do. He stopped this. Ralph died this morning at that camp, but he stopped it. And we owe him everything. So here's what we're doing. First, Camp Crystal Lake is condemned permanently. I don't care who owns it. I don't care what the property rights are. I don't care if we have to fight this in court for 10 years. That property is condemned. We're establishing a permanent exclusion zone, 2 miles in every direction. Fencing, security, armed patrols if we have to. Nobody goes on that property, ever. If you try to go there, if you try to sneak in, if you're one of those, those thrill seekers or YouTubers or whatever, thinking you're going to make some horror movie video, you will be arrested. You will be prosecuted. Zero tolerance. This isn't a joke. This isn't entertainment. 14 people are dead. This is a crime scene. This is a mass grave, and it stays closed. Second, the Lakeside Wellness Corporation. Their permits are revoked. They're being held liable. We're filing every legal action we can think of. They knew the history. They knew what Ralph was saying. They knew the community was opposed. And they opened it anyway because they thought they could make money. Well, they're not making money now. They're paying. Every family that lost someone, we're going to make sure they pay. Third, the Eastern Residential Area, Cunningham Road, Henderson Trail, Forest View Drive. That's a disaster zone now. FEMA's been contacted. We're getting federal assistance. 17 homes were damaged. 5 are total losses. The families who live there, we're putting them in temporary housing. The Red Cross is here. We've got counseling services starting tomorrow at the high school. And I want to be clear, if you live on the east side and you don't feel safe in your home anymore, if you can't go back there because of what you saw or what you heard, we will help you relocate. That's a promise. Fourth, and this is important, we're renaming the community center. It's going to be called the Ralph Christy Memorial Center. We're also putting up a memorial on Main Street. It's going to list the names of everyone we lost this weekend, all 14, and however many more we end up finding. And Ralph's name is going at the top, not because he's more important than anyone else, but because he tried to save all of them. For 17 years he tried. We're also giving Ralph the town's highest civilian honor, posthumously. Deborah Christy, Ralph's widow, she'll receive that when she's ready, when the family's ready. Schools are closed through Friday. Most businesses are closed today, probably tomorrow too. Take the time, be with your families, process this. We're going to get through this, but it's going to take time. Now, I know there are questions. I know people want to know, what was this? Who was responsible? Was it really, was it really Jason Voorhees like the legend says? And here's what I can tell you. State police have described the suspect as a large male, over 6 feet tall, wearing a hockey mask, armed with a machete. Witnesses from 1982, witnesses from 1980, they described the same thing. Same mask, same weapon, same impossible durability. I don't have an explanation for that. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a paranormal investigator. I'm a mayor who's trying to keep his town safe. What I know is this. Something was at that camp. Something that has been there for a very long time. And every time someone tried to use that property, people died. We should have listened to Ralph. We should have left it alone. My grandson, the one who plays the video games, he also watches horror movies, Pennywise, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. I used to tell him those were just movies, just make-believe. I don't know what to tell him now, because what happened this weekend, that was real. And it looked an awful lot like one of those movies he watches. I'm not taking questions right now. I don't have answers. I wish I did. We'll have a full press conference tomorrow afternoon. We'll have more information by then. We'll know more about what Ralph found at that camp, what state police are finding. For now, just stay safe. If you live near the camp, stay away. If you live on the east side, please consider staying with family elsewhere for a few days. Look after your neighbors. Look after each other. That's what we do in Crystal Lake. That's who we are. And to the families who lost someone, I am so sorry. This is on me. This is on the town council. This is on everyone who had the power to stop that camp from opening and didn't use it. We failed you. We failed Ralph. And we failed the people who died. I will carry that for the rest of my life. We all will. God bless Crystal Lake. God bless the families who are grieving. And God bless Ralph Christy, who saved us when nobody else could. Thank you.
This is Roger Thornhill with WCLK News. State police have just released additional audio from the video camera Ralph Christy had with him at Camp Crystal Lake this morning. What you're about to hear are Ralph's final words, recorded after he was stabbed and knew he was dying. Police reviewed this footage earlier today and decided, in consultation with Deborah Christy, that Ralph's message should be shared with the public. This is difficult to listen to, but Ralph wanted people to hear this. He wanted people to know the truth. Here is Ralph Christy's final message.
The camera's still recording. Good. That's good. Need to make sure this gets out there. My name is Ralph Christy. I'm at Camp Crystal Lake. I've been stabbed. I'm bleeding pretty badly. I don't think I'm getting out of here, but that's okay. I did what I came to do. The truck went into the lake. Jason Voorhees, the man in the hockey mask. He's chained to it. 60 pounds of concrete. He's at the bottom of Crystal Lake now. where he drowned in 1957, where this all started. I shot him multiple times, I wrapped chains around him, and even then, even after all that, he still got up, he still came at me. That's what people need to understand. This wasn't a man, not anymore. I don't know what he was, but he wasn't human, not in any way that matters. For 17 years, I tried to warn people. I told them the camp was cursed. I told them about Jason, about his mother, about everyone who died trying to use that property. And people called me crazy, Crazy Ralph. I get it. I do. It sounds insane when you say it out loud. A dead boy from 1957 killing people for 40 years? That's not possible. That's not how the world works. Except it is. It did. And this video proves it. Show this to anyone who doesn't believe. Show them what I fought. Show them what I had to do to stop him. Maybe then they'll understand why I spent 17 years sounding like a lunatic. Deborah, if you're hearing this, I'm so sorry. I know you begged me not to go. I know you wanted me to come home. But baby, I couldn't. I couldn't sit in that studio one more night listening to people die while I did nothing. Lisa and her kids, Terry, I had to try. I had to do something. You've been my whole world for 42 years. Every good thing in my life came from you. I love you more than I can say. I'm sorry I couldn't grow old with you like we planned. I'm sorry I won't be there, but I need you to know this was the right thing. This had to be done, and I'm glad it was me. You made my life beautiful, Deborah. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for believing in me even when nobody else did. To everyone in Crystal Lake, I'm sorry I couldn't stop this sooner. 14 people died this weekend. That's 14 too many. If I'd been louder, if I'd fought harder to keep that camp closed, maybe they'd still be alive. I'll carry that with me. Wherever I'm going, I'll carry that. But at least it's over now. At least he's stopped. The lake has him back. Keep the camp closed. Seal it. Fence it. Never let anyone go there again. Some places are wrong. Some places should stay forgotten. Camp Crystal Lake is one of them. And listen to me. This is important. Do not bring him up. Do not recover the body. Leave him down there. Leave him in the lake where he drowned in 57. I know the police are going to want to recover him. Evidence, examination, closure for the families. I understand that. But please listen to me. The lake is the only thing that's ever held him. The water is where this started. It's where it needs to end. If you bring him up, if you pull him out of that water, I don't know what will happen, but I know it won't be good. He moved after I shot him. He got up after I chained him, even stabbing me. He was still trying. The only reason he stopped now is because he's down there, in the deep, in the dark, in the cold water where he belongs. Leave him there. Seal off the lake if you have to, but do not bring him up. Promise me, please, promise me you'll leave him down there. I'm getting pretty tired now. It's hard to keep my eyes open. The sun's coming up. That's nice. I can see it reflecting off the water. It's beautiful. Deborah, I love you. Crystal Lake, stay safe. And remember that the impossible can happen. The things you think are legends, the things you think are stories, sometimes they're real. Sometimes they're real and you have to face them. I faced mine and I won. Michael, I'll be with you soon.
That was Ralph Christy's final message, recorded this morning at 6:48 a.m. Ralph died approximately 2 minutes after that recording ended. His body was recovered by state police at 7:05 this morning. The video camera and all footage have been turned over to investigators as evidence. Deborah Christy requested that Ralph's final words be made public, saying that Ralph wanted the world to know what he faced and why he spent 17 years warning this community. Ralph Christy ended the curse of Crystal Lake. We will never forget him. We'll continue our coverage of this story throughout the day. For WCLK News, I'm Roger Thornhill.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, hi. I need help at Camp Crystal Lake. My friends, they went diving and they haven't come back up.
Sir, Camp Crystal Lake is a restricted area. You're not supposed to be there. How did you get past the fence?
We cut through on the north side. Look, that doesn't matter right now. My friends are in the water and they're not coming up.
How many people are in the water?
3. Kevin, Mike, and Ashley. They wanted to see it, see if the body was really down there. Everyone's been talking about it. The chains, the concrete, all of it. They thought it would be cool to get pictures.
How long have they been underwater?
I don't know. Maybe 5 minutes? 6? They had those little diving masks from the sporting goods store. Said they could hold their breath long enough to get down there and see it. I told them this was stupid. I told them not to go in. But they didn't listen.
Sir, I'm dispatching police and rescue to your location right now. I need you to stay on the line with me. Do not go into the water. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm staying on the shore. I'm not going in there. No way. Wait, I see something. Bubbles. There are bubbles coming up.
Brandon, do not approach the water. Stay where you are.
I see something breaking the surface. Oh, thank God. Kevin, is that you?
Brandon, what do you see?
I don't know. Something came up, but it's not. It's floating face down. That's Kevin's wetsuit. Kevin, answer me.
Brandon, stay away from the water. Help us 3 minutes out.
He's not moving. He's just floating there. Where are Mike and Ashley? Where are the other 2?
Brandon, I need you to stay calm. Move away from the shore. Get back to solid ground.
Something else is coming up. Another body. Oh no. No. That's Ashley. I can see her blonde hair. She's not moving either. What happened down there? What happened to them?
Police are 1 minute away, Brandon. Can you see the third person?
No. Mike's still down there. He's still... Wait, there's something else. Something big moving in the water. Oh my God, what is that?
Brandon, what do you see?
There's something walking out of the lake. It's huge. Oh Jesus, it's wearing a mask, a hockey mask. He's walking right out of the water. He's looking at me. He's looking right at me.
Brandon, run right now. Get out of there.
Good evening again. I trust you've enjoyed our little excursion to Camp Crystal Lake. I must say, I've always found summer camps to be rather disagreeable places. All that fresh air and compulsory cheerfulness give me a nice, comfortable soundstage any day. Now, I'm certain some of you are wondering about young Brandon and his unfortunate friends. The authorities did eventually arrive, 4 minutes too late as it happens. They found Brandon's phone by his car. They did not find Brandon. As for Kevin, Mike, and Ashley, the lake, as they say, keeps its secrets. Camp Crystal Lake remains closed, of course. The fence has been reinforced. Warning signs posted every 50 feet. Though I suspect, if history is any guide, that won't stop the next group of adventurous young people from testing their luck. After all, every generation believes they're somehow special, somehow exempt from the mistakes of those who came before. Ralph Christy tried, bless him, and for 3 weeks it seemed to have worked. But as we've seen this evening, some problems can't be chained to the bottom of a lake. Some curses, once awakened, simply refuse to sleep again. So if you're planning a camping trip this summer, might I suggest the mountains instead? Or perhaps a nice hotel with room service and locks on the doors and absolutely no lakes within 100 miles. Until next time, I'm reminding you that the safest place to encounter monsters is in the comfort of your own home, listening to stories. Good night. Join us next time as we witness the next chapter in our species' fight for survival. The end times are far from over. Until then, here is a preview of our next broadcast.
Let's take another call. This is caller. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, Mitch. Do you like scary movies?
Excuse me?
It's a simple question. Do you like scary movies? You seem like the type. Late night radio, spooky stories, all that atmosphere. I bet you've seen them all. Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, buddy, real funny. If this is your idea of a prank, it's not the time.
Oh, I'm not pranking you, Mitch. I'm a fan. I listen to your show every night. I especially liked your caller, Sam. Very practical advice. People should protect themselves. But here's the thing, Mitch. Locks don't keep me out. Bats don't scare me. And the police? Well, they're always one step behind, aren't they?
Who is this?
I'm someone who's been watching. Someone who's been listening. Your callers tonight, they're scared. I can hear it in their voices. Judy thinks we locked up the wrong man. She's not wrong. You know, Cotton Weary is innocent. But knowing that doesn't help her, does it? It doesn't help anyone.
Look, I don't know what kind of sick joke this is.
It's not a joke, Mitch. It's a game. And I'm winning. Your town is terrified. People are buying locks they don't need. Staying up all night, jumping at every sound. That's the fun part. The fear, the anticipation. Not knowing when I'll call. Not knowing when I'll knock on the door.
If you're who you're pretending to be.
I'm not pretending, Mitch. I'm the real thing. And I'll prove it to you. Tell your listeners to pay attention to the news. Something's going to happen. Something big. And when it does, you'll know I'm not some kid with a voice changer. You'll know I'm exactly who I say I am.
Hello? Hello? All right. Folks, I need to take a breath here. That was probably just some kid trying to freak us out, some idiot with too much time on his hands. But I'm going to call the sheriff's department anyway. I'm going to report this. Because if there's even a chance that was real, if there's even a 1% chance, look, I don't want to add to the fear tonight. I really don't. But if you're out there listening, if you're home alone, lock your doors. Don't answer calls from numbers you don't recognize. And if something feels wrong, if you get a call like that, hang up and dial 911 immediately. I'm gonna step away for a minute. We're gonna cut to some music, and when I come back, I'll let you know what the police said. Stay with me, Woodsboro. This is After Midnight. I'm Mitch Brenner, and I'm really hoping that was just a prank.
Need home renovations? Kramer Contractors and Design specializes in custom